Hey everybody, Zach First Night here with another list for the top 10 season 3 episodes. Now, this is my second take because I didn't realize my phone only has 15 minutes to record. It just had 20 the other day, now it's down to 15 even though I didn't really take any more photos or save anything that requires that, I don't think, to my knowledge. But anyways, I'm going to get this done a little bit quicker so that way I can have some time to upload it and talk to what I need about. But I got the episodes now in my head, so I don't have to look down anymore onto it as much. Except for obviously trying to find the name of the episode title. But anyways, for the first one, it's going to be for the rhinoceros episode. It's pretty much about Angelica lying to Chucky, saying that he has some type of disease called rhinoceros, which is where he turns into a rhinoceros. She's pretending to be a doctor because she watches some type of kids shows. Where he's a doctor, and it's a really fun episode. Definitely worth watching. I really like that one. Let's see. I would say Farewell, My Friend is the next one, and I really like the episodes because pretty much about this is actually the events of Chaz's wife, and their greenhouse is still there. He's taking care of it, and Tommy, Chucky, Phil, and Lil all want to go. Well, except for Chucky, want to go to the greenhouse to kind of look around and see what's inside. And obviously, Chucky didn't want that, but he wanted to go and be with his friends, and because Chaz was in some type of greenhouse suit and couldn't see his face, the kids were terrified and ran away, except for Chucky, who got stuck and it broke his glasses, I believe, and kind of found out that that's what made Chucky pretty much want to stop being friends with Tommy for a short time. Long story short, Tommy gets trapped by this hose, and Chucky comes to save the day and become friends again. And I guess on the credit scenes where you can hear them talking, back and forth, that was like ad-libbed by the actresses who played Tommy and Chucky. And I thought that was pretty neat. Really worth watching, a really good episode. But my favorite one on season 3's disc 1, so I'm going to do 3 episodes for discs 1 and 2, and 2 episodes for discs 3 and 4. But anyway, this one's going to be The Legend of Satchmo. Legend of Satchmo is a really good episode to me where it's talking about Sasquatch. I don't really care for Sasquatch in real life, obviously. Don't believe in it. I believe in Jesus, but I do not believe in a creature that's not existent. But they're pretty much just Grandpa Lou in the back, and I think in behind Stu's and Dee's home. They're like in the backyard, and they're doing a little camp out where they have Tommy, Chucky, Phil, Lil, and Angelica all in the backyard doing like a little kind of what's the word? Camping out, I guess, in the backyard. They have a tent and everything. And it was really well animated, especially at the night scenes where after Grandpa Lou told the story of Sasquatch to them, they call Sasquatch Satchmo, which is absolutely hilarious. One of my favorite episodes from this season, where Chucky has to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, tries to go back to the house, but during that time it looks like the tree, since it's super windy at night, the wind is blowing the trees and the bushes. That kind of looks like flames. I'm not sure if that's supposed to be intentional or not. But it kind of was a slightly scary imagery when I was young, but I really liked that episode still. Kind of find out it was just Stu walking around at night trying to make sure that the kids are alright because he was terrified of them being out there because he thought that, wild animals would get to him. But they're not really in an area where wild animals are there. And so I don't know why he would be worried. I mean, I know that he was left in the forest unintentionally for 3 days. It was hilarious, though. A really good reason why, I guess, he would be afraid for them being outside by themselves with Grandpa Lou. But still, a really funny episode, worth watching. Disc 2, the Stu Gets a Job, is definitely the one I really liked in that season, or that disc, where Stu he's an inventor, so that's his job. That's how he pays the bills for his home, for Dee Dee and Tommy, and eventually Dill later on. He becomes a very big, successful inventor, but this time he was having in a way, kind of like writer's block, where he could not finish his current invention, which is like a bubble maker. He didn't know how to make the bubbles become, just to come out all the way. They kept just bursting, or they just kept on popping every time. And pretty much Tommy wanted him to stay home with him, so he can hang out with him all day instead, like how he used to. Sabotages Stu with help of Chucky, Phil, and Lil, and he thinks it's Drew who's messing with him with the shower and the toys and the clothes. I'm not sure if he did shoes or not, coffee, I think it was. But anyways, Stu tries to get back at Drew, but it wasn't really Drew, and it was just hilarious. Pretty much, the babies accidentally created the idea for Stu to finish his invention, which was to put a net over the device and it would pop out with many different bubbles. Quits his job that he had for a short time to get that. Again, his standard job, which is just inventing. Let's see, the next one would be Cuffed, where Chaz leaves Chucky at Drew's house with Angelica, just so that we can go and do some type of event that he was going to. And the thing I liked about this episode is where Drew was giving out, buying presents for orphans, so that way they can have some toys, and one of them was a handcuff set that Angelica wanted. She obviously couldn't get it from him, so she made Chucky do it, and bossing him around, and accidentally hooked each other up with the cuffs. Angelica got what she deserved at the end of the episode for sure, and it's a really good episode to see if you haven't seen it. The next one up would be The Blizzard. The Blizzard was a really good episode where it's like Chucky narrating throughout the scenes of them going to be at the North Pole, but even though it's just their backyard during snow season, and Grandpa Lou's already out there, with making the snowman and all that kind of stuff, but they make it look like they're in Antarctica. I cannot speak. Because Chucky was trying to find Santa Claus so that way they can, fix his fire truck toy that he accidentally broke. Kind of find out pretty much at the end of the episode, Stu just fixes it, and it was just a really fun episode, really worth watching. Disc 3 would be Chucky's Rich. I like that episode because Chaz was having financial issues with his job, and his house is needing several repairs, and couldn't even visit their family because they just didn't have the money to do so. And then he enters a contest and wins, and ironically, I've never even heard of Pat Sajak, but he's in that episode. I'm not sure if the voice actor is him or not, but I know that at least the design is supposed to be based off an actual game show host with the same name. But the way they animated him, they kind of made him look terrifying, but at the same time, I think that was probably intentional. Really funny episode. I think it's worth watching for sure. If you haven't seen it, I'll let you finish the rest. It's a really good episode. The next one would be Chucky's Red Hair, where Chucky's tired of all the attention that he gets from neighbors and friends of Chaz, where they keep messing with his hair. He's pretty much invading his personal space. He was terrified of that, and then he seen Grandpa Lou use some type of hair dye on his hair and made his hair black. So he used that. The babies helped him with it and accidentally covered his whole head with it, and his whole head became like a chrome dome, kind of black hair. And after a while, he was being ignored, and he was getting tired of not having the attention again because he was actually kind of missing it a little bit. Even Angelica was kind of not paying attention to him and not even bullying him. And then the extreme heat was the way that it kind of messed up changed his hair back to red, and accidentally changed Grandpa Lou's hair in the process. It was hilarious. Worth watching. Disc 4 was the Passover episode. By far my favorite episode of the season, since it's being made by Arlene Klasky and Gabor Supo. I believe that's how you pronounce his name. They are Christian people, and that's why they made a lot of Christian episodes. And as a Christian who loves Jesus with all my heart, I'm so glad that my favorite show of all time was a Christian type show, and I loved that. And the Passover episode is about Moses, so if you have not seen that episode, it's worth watching. But Pharaoh's Angelica, they kind of changed some things to make it more Rugrat styled version of it, without altering what the Bible says, just keeping it, but in the Rugrats just portraying what they think they would be in the story, which is a true story. But just want to let you know that it's a really good episode. It's definitely the best one in the season, in my personal opinion. But the next one would be I Remember Melvile. That one's a really good classic where it's been, Chucky gets a new pet, which is just roly-poly. Tries to do tricks with it, shows off to Phil, Lil, and Tommy, but obviously it doesn't do a lot. And once, there's also a scene later on where he wants Tommy and the twins to watch Melville for a minute so he can get some more leaves that he likes to eat. And didn't take long, but the roly-poly didn't make it, and Chucky didn't realize it for a while. He really did not want to believe that the Melville was gone. It was actually a very innocent but sad episode in a way, because it in a way it kind of deals with real life loss, but more so later on with later seasons for Chucky's mother. But that's different. But anyways, this episode was really good. I really liked it. Chucky becomes happy and sad at the same time because he likes Melvile's memories, but also is sad at the same time because he misses them. Really good episode. Yeah, I love the chocolate pudding scene. It was really good. It makes me actually want some pudding a little bit. But tell me in the comments below what you guys girls think about this video. What do you think of Rugrats Season 3? Which one are your favorite episodes? See you next time, and God bless.